In the House earlier today, let's head straight to Parliament now. Paula Chowles is standing by with Julius Malema. Paula, good evening.
Good evening, Jeremy. But first, I want to get some reacts from the opposition. Mmusi Maimane, you said earlier that this was a missed opportunity, but clearly things haven't worked for the past 5 years.
No, what is obvious is the fact that even now they've appointed a speaker that wants to make sure that they protect the ANC and the president, rather than in fact making sure the constitution of the republic is upheld. Here the speaker failed in being able to allow an honorable member to be able to pose a question and then ask that a leader of the executive, in this case is the president, to answer the question. The long-term future of this country must be one where surely Parliament becomes the place where accountability is held by all executive. If we fail at doing that, we'll fail the agenda of the people of this country.
But I'd like to bring Mr. Malema in. Mr. Malema, I mean, do you think he's right? I mean, some people have said today was a sad day for Parliament. Zizi Kodwa, spokesperson for the ANC, said the EFF are only unruly. I mean, what was the goal for today?
Well, this is a good day for South Africa, a good day for democracy. We are demonstrating to our people that we've got the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and it's unlimited in Parliament. Zuma will no longer use this Parliament to hide his shenanigans. We are here to expose him. It can't be business as usual, where people hide behind point of orders, commissions and committees, failing to take responsibility. Zuma has done this for a very long time. We have no any other avenue. When we go to court, we get chased away that the matter belongs to Parliament. Where else must we go to? The only way to stand up to these people is in the manner we did, because they've got numbers on their side. The men must be accountable. No one has put this matter to Zuma in a manner we've put it to him today. He will know from today that this matter is very serious. The country needs an accountability, and it wants to know when is he paying the money. The public protector's recommendation supersede all the recommendations you have. We can't have another process. Zuma is doing the same thing he's doing on the spy tapes. Zuma is doing the same thing he has done with the Gupta Gate, delay tactics, with a hope that we're going to forget. We're not going to forget. For the next 5 years, he will have to answer where the money is, when is he paying the money, because that's what we're here for. Our voters said to us, go and fight for our money to be returned from Nkandla. During election campaign, we had a big board saying, stop Nkandla corruption. That's what our people voted for. We are here to demand that the money of Nkandla must be paid back into the coffers of the taxpayers.
But now surely opposition have said that people must still operate within the rules. Do you think the opposition should get behind what you did today?
Well, we oppose in different ways. There's never been opposition since 1994. The opposition, the ANC, saw it today. That's why they didn't know how to handle it, because it is unprecedented. It has never happened before. I've seen ministers of the security cluster passing each other like Casey and Jojo, not knowing what to do because they met a real match. We're here to make them run for their money. They have been relaxing here, sleeping here, stealing the money of our people. This is the time that somebody takes them on, and the EFF has taken that decision. The opposition can decide if there's other better ways for them, if they've worked, that those ways have worked for them. So be it. We're with Mr. Lekota today in our press conference. He stood up and said it very clear that we have gone to the court. We've tried everything. We've gone to the committees. They've got the majority. They suppress us. There's no any other option except the option which we have used today. The president must be held accountable. Zuma must stop thinking he's above the law. He is nothing. He's got an ID like all of us. All of us, when we are instructed by institutions of the state on how we must conduct ourselves, we do exactly that. What is so special about him?
Well, there seemed to have been a bit of a reaction when you came out of the National Assembly eventually, once the Speaker had said the session is postponed. It seems that there was a bit of a physical altercation. What happened there?
Well, the ANC staff members were called to come and beat us up by members of ANC, members of the ANC who are with us in Parliament. But they've got no capacity, man, because when we came out, they approached us. We only faced them once, yay, and they disappeared because they are cowards. So there's nothing they can do. We're not scared of them. We are here to to execute our mandate. We're not going to be bullied by the ANC. We're not going to be threatened by the ANC. They've met their match. We're not scared of them. If they are looking for a fight on the streets, we're also ready for them on the streets. We're not scared of anything. In Parliament, we're going to fight them and defeat them. We're going to meet them on the streets and defeat them, because South Africans are tired of corruption. Zuma has rendered this National Assembly useless. Zuma has ridiculed the whole state. Zuma has turned this country into a laughingstock. We now exist in a banana republic because of one overprotected individual. We must put him to where he belongs. South Africans, all of you, this is the time you must stand up and say the man must be held, at least for once. At least for once he must be held accountable. He has been doing as he wishes. I've given you a list of the things that Zuma has never taken responsibility on. All of us must unite. The opposition must unite and say there is no any other avenue available except to take the man on in the National Assembly. We are not done. The matter must come back to the National Assembly. It must be only that item. We don't want any other item. The matter must come to the National Assembly. Zuma must tell us when is he implementing the recommendations of the public protector. We must protect the public protector, because the protection of the public protector is the protection of the Constitution. We are only left with the Constitution. The rot has eaten away the government of this country. The only thing left for us is the Constitution. Let us protect it with everything we have.
Now, you also spoke in your press conference earlier about the way forward and how you'd be having a meeting with all the other opposition parties, because at the end of the day, protest is one thing, but you need your answers and you need the president to come back here. So how are you going to map the way forward to get him back here?
We're going to meet a leader of government business. We'll engage with him and tell him exactly what we're saying, that for peace to occur in that plenary, the matter will have to be tabled as a motion for discussion in Parliament, and we've already got a buy-in of COPE. We'll be speaking to other opposition parties to consolidate a position which will pressurize them to come and speak in the National Assembly. Why should the president be scared of democratically elected people who are mandated to hold the executive accountable? Let us all unite and say enough is enough on corruption. I hope the DA can come on board on this matter, because the DA, when we said to them, Tlhakula is corrupt, let us come together and fight corruption in the matter of Tlhakula, they stayed outside. And the Electoral Court proved us right. The Constitutional Court proved us right. The DA will have to come in and stand with us on this matter and say, enough is enough. If there is any anarchist in this country, it's a person who disrespects the rule of law. It's a person who disrespects the public protector. It's a person who respects the Constitution or disrespects the Constitution of this country. That is the anarchist. Because if Zuma was doing everything else by the book, there will not be what we saw today in the National Assembly. So to avoid anarchy in this country, opposition must unite in holding Zuma accountable. The method the DA wants to use of point of order, committee, and procedure, and the rules. The rule says this. It hasn't worked for them in the past 5 years, the last term, since the matter occurred. Till today, we have no answers from the president following the procedure. You might say to me, protest might not work and all that. This country, it is what it is today because of protest.
Well, I just want to quickly bring Mr. Mmusi Maimane in. He says you must unite on this matter. I mean, will you be uniting and backing each other to get to the answers within Nkandla?
It's important that for all of the South Africans who are dissatisfied with the president's answer and certainly are angered almost exceptionally with his response today, that we come together, that we agree in the fact that the president must account on this matter, that we agree that without fail, that in fact we'll certainly even in committee be able to subpoena the president and insist that the president to come and appear in person, so that he can be questioned and challenged in that space. We've certainly never shied away from being able to take the president to court. You know, we've done our work on the spy tapes because we believe in the constitutionality and the application of the rule of law. Because what we don't want is that in the long run, that the very law that we must undermine so that we don't have a law to hold on to.
And final words from you in terms of what he's just said, in terms of following the rules sometimes, hanging to that rule of law, breaking the rules, which the EFF has done in this first term of Parliament?
No, which rule? I mean, you can't tell me which rule have we
Well, the
broken.
ANC would say that you've broken many rules in
You
here.
can't tell me about the ANC of Zizi Kodwa, who doesn't even know any rule about Parliament, man. Zizi knows nothing about this Parliament. He has never been a member of Parliament. He was sworn in, the following day he resigned. He doesn't know what we are confronted with here. There is no rule. That's why police were called here. Police couldn't do anything because police were saying, what are they doing wrong? What must we do? Because they are saying they want the money to be paid back to the taxpayers. So there is no rule we are breaking. Remember when the first time when we walked out of the assembly, they said they are going to take action against us because we have broken the rule. Till today, there was no any action taken against us. You know why? There is an absolute freedom of speech and absolute freedom of expression in this house. This house must never be reduced into a praising platform for the government.
Well, I'm not cutting your freedom of speech, but I'm going to have to cut you right now. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. I've been told to wrap up. Jeremy, we've had both the DA and Julius Malema from the EFF talking exactly about why they did what they did today, and the DA saying that they do stand behind the EFF as long as the rule of law is followed.
All right, Paula Chowles with the very latest from Parliament. This is Newsnight.
You deserve to know more. eNCA.com